You know that feeling? You crack open an old dusty safe maybe at an estate sale or your granddad's place and the smell of Hoppa's number 9 and old oil hits you harder than a 12 gauge? That right there is the smell of truth. And it wakes you up to the fact that the modern firearms industry has been selling you a bill of goods. See, we have this myth in American hunting culture fed by glossy magazine ads and influencer hype trains that you need a brand new space-age chassis rifle covered in rails and plastic to be a halfway decent marksman. They keep reinventing the wheel and selling it to us for double the price. But if you actually spend time on a real firing line, or talk to guys who have stacked whitetail like cordwood, they will tell you straight. The hardware that built this country's hunting heritage isn't the new stuff. It is the steel and wood hiding in the back of the closet. And folks, I am seeing it everywhere I go. Hunters are putting down the polymer and picking up the iron their grandfathers carried. Rifles that have honest wear. Scratches that tell stories. Machines built back when American manufacturing measured quality by longevity, not by quarterly profit margins. Tonight on the Second Amendment Sentinel, we are getting back to basics. We are breaking down 5 rifles that refuse to die. They didn't surrender to the plastic revolution. They just held the line until we came to our senses. Number 5. The Remington Model 760 Game Master. Starting us off at number 5 is a piece of machinery that clawed its way out of the 1950s and still runs circles around modern bull cover at 30 yards. Boom. You take the shot, but he doesn't drop. You need a follow-up, and you need it right now. You don't have time to run a clumsy bolt action or pray to the gun gods. This is where the 760 shines. It is a pump-action rifle. Basically, a Remington 870 shotgun converted to throw lead. Chambered in serious calibers like the 30-06, this thing was built for the hunter who needs speed when the adrenaline is dumping into their system. People forget that a well-broken-in pump action is faster than just about anything short of a semi-auto. This rifle weighs in around 7.5 pounds with a 22-inch barrel. It swings fast, it points natural, and it anchors game out to 200 yards without breaking a sweat. You can find these used for $500 to $600, which just destroys the idea that you need to spend $2,000 to fill a freezer. But it is the feel of it that gets you. Hunters call this the faithful dog of the deer woods. It just works. Now, is it perfect? No. Some older models have plastic dust covers or trigger guards that can crack. And if you treat a 30-06 pump like a toy, the recoil will wake you up. But go check the forums. Guys are pulling these out of retirement and dropping trophy bucks like it is 1955 all over again. Number 4. The Savage Model 99. If you think the pump gun is cool, wait until you see what we have at number 4. Imagine a rifle from the 19th century that is actually more advanced than some of the stuff on the shelf today. I am talking about the Savage Model 99. If you hunt the hardwood timber, you know why this rifle is making a comeback. The Model 99 didn't just join the lever action party, it kicked down the door and changed the rules. Back in the late 1800s, while everyone else was using tube magazines and round-nose bullets, Savage dropped a hammerless design with a rotary magazine. That rotary mag was genius. It allowed hunters to use Spitzer bullets. Those are the pointy aerodynamic ones without worrying about setting off a primer in the tube. That was revolutionary. Depending on the setup, it weighs between 6.5 to 8 pounds. With a 20-inch barrel, this thing handles like an extension of your arm. It is made for those snapshots in deep cover where a deer vanishes before you can blink. 150 yards? Easy work. Iron sights or magnified optics, it doesn't care. And that lever throw? It is not clunky. It is mechanical art. It feels like closing the door on a bank vault. You can pick these up between $800 and $1,200 usually. And if you find a takedown model, you can break it in half, stow it in a ruck hike 10 miles into the backcountry, and put it back together without losing your zero. Try doing that with your modern budget rifle. Number 3. The Ruger M77. Sliding into the number 3 spot, we have a rifle that never needed a marketing gimmick. The Ruger M77 Hawkeye. This is a bolt gun built by people who actually hunt, not by engineers who just stare at spreadsheets. This thing is pure steel and walnut. No plastic bottom metal. No cutting corners to save 3 ounces. It features a controlled round feed system with a massive Mauser-style claw extractor. For those who know, that claw is peace of mind. It grabs the cartridge rim and does not let go until you tell it to. It has a cold hammer-forged barrel that is tough as nails. While the rest of the industry ran off chasing chassis systems and skeleton stocks, the Hawkeye just kept doing its job, delivering dead reliable performance. Hunters are circling back to the M77 because they realize that classic design isn't about being old-fashioned. It is about being battle-proven. Number 2. The Winchester Model 70. Coming in at number 2 is a rifle that frankly never left the throne to begin with. The Winchester Model 70. Specifically anything built with that pre-64 spirit. They call this the rifleman's rifle for a reason. It is the gold standard that every other bolt action is measured against. When you run the bolt on a Model 70, it feels like it is riding on ball bearings. The receiver is machined from a solid chunk of steel. The trigger breaks like a glass rod. There is no creep, no grit, just a clean break. While everyone else was trying to make rifles cheaper, Winchester was making them right. It uses that same controlled round feed logic we talked about. It is a rifle you don't just buy for yourself. You buy it for your grandkids. It stays in the family longer than the house does, and in a world of disposable consumer goods, that kind of permanence is powerful. Number 1. The Remington Model 788, and finally taking the number 1 spot. This is the comeback kid. A rifle that was overlooked for years, but is now getting the respect it deserves. The Remington Model 788. Produced from 1967 to 1980, this was designed as a working-class gun. But a funny thing happened. It turned out to be more accurate than the expensive rifles Remington was selling. Here is the setup. You are out on a varmint patrol, or sitting in a tight deer blind. You need something compact. The 788 has a short 20-inch barrel and weighs under 7 pounds. It is fast. But the magic is in the action. It has rear-locking lugs, which makes for a very fast bolt throw and a super stiff receiver. That translates to accuracy. I am talking sub-MOA groups right out of the box. No bedding, no tuning, just a tack driver. You can still find these for around $400, which is an absolute steal for American steel. It uses a detachable magazine, so no floor plate to mess with in the snow or mud. Now let's be real about the quirks. It is a push feed action, so it can occasionally stovepipe if you short stroke it. The factory trigger usually has some creep, but a little stonework fixes that. And since they stopped making them 40 years ago, spare parts are getting scarce. But those minor issues haven't stopped the resurgence. From gun shows to internet forums, people are hunting these things down. It is a no-nonsense precision tool that proves you don't need to spend a fortune to hit the X-ring. The Remington 788 isn't flashy. It is just a cold-blooded performer, and that is why it is number 1. All right, folks, that is the list. I want to know what you think. Do you have one of these legends in your safe, or did I miss a classic that deserves a spot on the roster? Drop a comment down below. I read all of them. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next briefing. Train hard, stay safe, and I will see you on the range.